Good afternoon. John Conley here high atop center ice at Dakota with the exclamation point here on the reservation. Minnewacan Sioux. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but got a great game for you today. Want to start out by introducing today's game analyst.
Few people exemplify what it means to grow up in the state of hockey like today's color commentator. He's a 2010 graduate of Stillwater and the captain of the boys hockey team. He went on to a standout career dominating the Superior International Junior Hockey League, also playing some in the North American Hockey League, before an incredible 57 points in 32 games for the ACHA level team at Arizona State University. Today, he is the head coach of the Thief River Falls Norskies, also in the Superior International Junior Hockey League. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Wilson Housley.
Give it up for Wilson. Wilson, glad to have you.
Oh, pleasure to be here. Nice to see the Ponies back in playing hockey here. And yeah, great intro there for myself. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, looking forward to today.
I've gotten a laugh from everybody. Thanksgiving, Jamie Langenbrunner heard his, and he said, oh, I need to play that for my kids. They don't believe I used to play. So you mentioned Stillwater. Let's go to Matt Doman. These are some thoughts pregame. Caught these just a moment ago from head coach Matt Doman about the Stillwater Ponies. We're just moments from the drop of the puck. John Conley here with Matt Doman. Your team started out and didn't allow a goal for several games and has an undefeated record. Now the competition picks up a little bit. Why don't you tell us about the season so far, what your thoughts are about Hockey for Life, and maybe what you're expecting from this group for the rest of the year?
Yeah, we're excited to be here again this year. They do a great job putting the tournament on, and obviously getting the opportunity to play the competition that we do. Three big games, 3 tough games in 3 days, and that will be a challenge for our kids. Not only physically but mentally, and we look forward to seeing kind of how we shake out at the end of everything.
So young group that has a lot of success at Bantam level. That's always a good predictor in Minnesota high school hockey. So apologies, folks. I had a great interview with Matt Doman, and about 2/3 of the way through, had a phone call that cut off the rest of the audio. So he talked about this team, and obviously they're off to a great start. Wilson, it was 3 games into the year, 3 shutouts, so it took a 4th game before they gave up a goal. Now they're 6-0.
Yeah, obviously being successful at the beginning of the year is huge. I believe they were sick for a little bit this year too, right? Is that what you were telling me before?
With Stillwater?
Yeah,
I think Stillwater's been pretty healthy relative to some of the
okay.
teams. On the St. Thomas side, 2 of the players you'll see today were on the the runner-up football team, and it took St. Thomas a little while to get their roster set. Herzog and McFadden weren't available for the opener back over Thanksgiving weekend. They were on the gridiron playing at U.S. Bank Stadium for the Cadets football team. Wilson had a chance to see St. Thomas Academy not too long ago. I announced their game. They were beat soundly by Hill Murray over at Aldrich. I think what I'm going to be watching for today, they have an outstanding goaltender. Donahue assumes the mantle from Atticus Kelly, last year's Brimsick winner of the top goalie in the state award. But he had a tough first period, and once they fell down, they really had trouble getting back in the game. So St. Thomas looking to get off to a better start, but high hopes for them. They're still in the top 10 this year. And Stillwater really facing their first test. They've had a softer schedule thus far.
Yeah, I think this will be a great challenge for them. Like Matt Dolman said earlier, you got 3 tough teams here back to back to back. Just be mentally strong here throughout the whole weekend, and hopefully each team has a successful one.
Want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm John Conley. The puck is dropped, and we are off. It's early play in the neutral zone. A little bit of a scrum, eventually onto the stick of Murr, who gains the zone, chips it ahead, but they lose the puck. It's turned over to neutral, and this is going to be an easy one to call, Wilson. Everybody wearing the gray jerseys. His last name, Stillwater.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a tough challenge for us tonight to be accurate on plays.
Stingle. Oh, his pass was intended to hit Streaking over there on the right-hand side. He was looking to hit Isley, but it hit a defender's skate. Lucky for St. Thomas, it did not go in the goal, but that was almost one of those dreaded own goals that you see every now and again.
Yeah, a little bit of a broken play there at the blue line turnover, and then Ponies obviously tried to take advantage of a 2-on-1, but kind of mishandled it, and now St. Thomas is with it.
Through the neutral zone is Hallam. Hallam's a very promising sophomore. Talked to one of the coaches for St. Thomas. He's a JV assistant coach, Mark Mackesy. Mark's going to be on the call, working color on the Saturday game. Mark said every time there's a college coach that comes to watch the team, they're very impressed with the tools, the skill set, the athleticism from Jackson Hallam. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists thus far, 6 points in 8 games. He's centering the second line so far for St. Thomas Academy. Breakout opportunity in front of the benches, out to the neutral zone. Oh, not so fast, kept in by a pinching Tussey there. Tussey is the one and only college committed player for Stillwater. He's college committed to Minnesota, just a sophomore.
Yeah, I think we'll be looking for a good weekend out of him. Obviously, he's going to be playing some highly talented kids, so we'll see how he reacts to it.
Chip and chase doesn't work. It goes for icing. We're going to bring this one all the way back down to the right of Muzzy Donahue. Donahue, worth mentioning, he biding his time last year, didn't get in a lot of games. They had Atticus Kelly as the top goalie. He's also college committed. Would you know? Boston College for golf. He's an outstanding golfer, and he's got a brother that plays Division I college hockey, and he's a great goaltender, but actually has plans for his other sport. And nice seeing that there's some multi-sport athletes in an era when that is less and less common. Stretch passes onto the tape of Vega. Vega comes in a breakaway, and he's denied by Brown.
Yeah, big save there by Brown. I think that's St. Thomas's first real chance so far, but it's a big first save for him.
They've got 5 shots on the board already. We're just 1 minute and 37 seconds in. 5 shots on the board already for the Ponies. Got to like the way this one started for them. However, as you mentioned, the first scoring chance, it's real juicy, is going the other direction on a rush off of a turnover. Vega comes in on the breakaway, and Brown makes the save. Stillwater wearing a gray jersey, white trim, red accents, and it's a nice 2-color scheme, a darker blue for St. Thomas, white trim. And one of the things that's nice about the tradition in that program, it's like watching the Ohio State Buckeyes football team with those helmet stickers.
Yeah, right. No, what the tradition behind those are pretty cool as well for both teams. But yeah, a good shift there by St. Thomas, putting some pressure on the Ponies. Good face-off play, which created almost a wraparound opportunity, and another big save by Brown. So good game so far.
O'Brien steps into the face-off circle. He's had a very good start to the season back at the opener. A little quiet since then. We'll see what he's able to do today. And hits a stray puck off of a defender. Bounces right in front of Brown. He did see it, however. Gets the save, and not his first one this year. He's got a gaudy 96.8% save percentage.
Yeah, I think you're looking for a big challenge out of Brown today for sure.
Face-off is won by St. Thomas. Over on the wall is Soderling. Takes it in deep, plays a short pass to O'Brien. Working out of the corner, they're managing to maintain the zone, and now they've got possession. Now they're trying to pressure the net. Nice pass from Soderling, played back to the point. Big clap bomber gets up high, and Bamer fires this one into the chest of one of the Stillwater players. He goes off. I think it was Murr that took that one in the midsection. Killian plays this one back over to Bamer, take your pick. I'm not sure. Feel free to correct me. I've done enough St. Thomas games this year. I probably should have figured it out by now. Behind the goal, it's a chance from O'Brien. Plays it over to Hallam. Hallam surveys the situation behind the end line. Plays it back into Gretzky's office, and a nice pass out there. Lurking in was Wright. Wright was coming in on that weak side, and when he went to fire the shot, couldn't quite get that pass under control. Killian plays it back to Bamer, back to Killian, and now it's up ice to Christie. Christie's an exciting player, cuts over, and Oh, nice centering pass to McFadden. He couldn't quite bury this one. McFadden, 36 touchdowns this year in the fall. 36 touchdowns. And no, they didn't play 50 games. It's high school football. He had something like, 11, 12 games. 36 touchdowns. He was the Pioneer Press Football Player of the Year. Interested in continuing his hockey career, so we're not sure what he's going to do for college yet. But McFadden, another great multi-sport athlete for the Cadets. Entering the zone, stood up at the blue line. Wiley. Wiley gained the zone, and now it's chipped up over the glass. So, Wilson, I was real excited to get a chance to work some games with you this week. You played. Your father, we were talking a little earlier, he's still coaching. He's with the Buffalo Sabres. Hockey from all angles. But this is an interesting year for you.
Yeah, this is my first year head coach up north in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, coaching the Norskies in the Superior International Junior Hockey League. It's been a really cool experience so far. It was a fast learning curve to start with a lot of the paperwork and behind with recruiting players, but it's been really fun so far, and I'm really enjoying it.
We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. We got 2 games today and tomorrow. We'll talk about some of the things, maybe how things are different from your playing days, which recently ended, to your coaching days, which are just beginning. And obviously, they're different roles, but I don't know that it's obvious to people who haven't done both just how much different it is in how you see the game. So St. Thomas trying to find a breakout pass, and sealing him off with a check is Shimmick. Eventually they push the puck up to the blue line, but it's not out the first time. Kept in nicely by Murr.
Nice hit there by Herzog at the blue line, another big hit. Bodies are starting to move around here a little bit.
Murr with a shot. This one's saved. And you mentioned, moving around a little bit. We had a good pace right off the get on that first game. First one post-Christmas. Never really sure what to expect. Some of the kids may be a little sluggish because you're not practicing every day.
Yeah, I think it's been a fast start from both teams. I think Stillwater, its first couple of minutes there, first 2.5 minutes, is a lot of physical contact, and it seems now the past 2 minutes or so, St. Thomas has picked up their speed a little bit and finishing checks as well. So good balance to the game so far.
O'Brien steps into the face-off circle, looks across eye-to-eye with Tussey. Draw one by O'Brien. He plays this over to Killian. Killian near side. This is right, chipping it up the glass out to neutral in pursuit is O'Brien. Sweeping in to pick it up is Soderling. Soderling, he's surrounded 3 white jerseys. He cut to the middle, and, it's nice defensive coverage there. He was kind of surrounded by 3 guys, and predictably, Stillwater's gained possession. Now they're working the other way. Reski up to Tussey. Tussey with a dipsy dangle, tries to work it wide around, and nice active stick there from Killian. Tipped the puck away enough to thwart his momentum. Out to the neutral zone. Here comes Bamer. Check that. Now it's lofted out to the neutral zone where it's fielded by Wiley. So, Wilson, it's not too many years removed from your high school hockey playing days. How much, for viewers at home, maybe, wonder how much of this stuff is schemed and how much of it is just really focusing on getting players to try to play the right way? So, systems versus maybe effort. What do you think?
I think everybody has their own systems, and systems need to be perfected to have team success. But trying to keep guys focused day in and day out and mentally prepare, and come to the rink ready to work hard and give it 100% or whatever it is that day, 80, 90% depending on how they're feeling. But trying to get the best out of the guys every single day, I think, is what all coaches strive for.
We'll keep an eye on those benches, and we'll kind of get inside of your mind as we get to the critical points of the game. Maybe get some idea for what they're probably thinking on the bench and what they're probably talking about between periods. Moments ago, we had a big hit late on Darby by McFadden. McFadden's football weight was generally listed up around, I think, 210 pounds, which is awfully stout for a high school hockey player. One of the things, and you can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, but hockey weights generally are taken at the beginning of the year, and a lot of kids just don't have a frame to carry on the weight that they start the season once they start practicing, and it's not unusual for players to maybe by the end of a season lose 10 or 15 pounds.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's part of the mental part of the game is pushing yourself to be eating and maintaining your healthiness, and obviously eating more food throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, it's tough with kids going to school and playing high school games, and they're still in high school, so they're still having fun, they're still enjoying life and everything, and obviously trying to stay on top of that, though, is a big part of being healthy throughout the whole season.
Saved by Brown. The faceoff comes over to his right. Into the faceoff circle is Herzog for St. Thomas. This is chipped out to neutral, and in pursuit is Dario. Hi-ho at Dario. He's on pursuit for the Ponies. Everybody's got to tag up, and whoa. Wilson, what did we just see? He was offside, right?
No, I think number 2, Riley, the senior for Stillwater, had a really good opportunity to maybe be on a breakaway there, and it seemed St. Thomas player maybe got away with a call, but it looked.
Well, what about the tag up? I was waiting for the whistle for the offside call.
I did notice that too, so maybe the officials need to get going here a little bit. No.
We're running a 2-referee, 1 linesman system. I looked for the linesman. He was off of the blue line, and I believe we had an offside call as the Stillwater player unable to tag up as Raleigh entered the zone. However, play continued, and crisis averted from a St. Thomas standpoint as the puck was eventually pushed out to the neutral zone. Now it's a slow roller that goes the length of the ice. Icing is the call.
Yeah, no, not to give the refs a hard time. We know they're trying to do their best out there, so it is a fast-paced game, but yeah, not too bad.
It's interesting, you're watching this game on Youth Hockey Hub. You're probably a big Minnesota high school hockey fan. Worth mentioning, this is an officiating scheme that Minnesota high school uses. It's not even recognized by USA Hockey. We have 2 referees, 1 linesman. Referees would call the penalties, and you're kind of looking at that linesman to make that offside call. USA Hockey, they have a 3-man crew, would typically be 1 referee, 2 linesmen, and maybe you get some penalties going uncalled in that situation, but generally they're spot on with the lines. So interesting that we'd see something like that. Usually it's more about the quality of the people officiating than it is the system they're using, but kind of interesting when you see a guy that can't get tagged up like that. And he got to stick to the blue line, but both skates were about 2 feet over, and nonetheless, no whistle. We get a stoppage of play. 9-16. It's still scoreless. A little different than the last game. We had an early goal and then an answer right back. It was 1-1 by this point in our earlier game. In case you missed it, you can go back and watch that one on the archives. A lot of stuff worth seeing. A shocker of small proportions. Chaska 6, Eden Prairie 3.
Nice move there by Darby at the blue line with a little spinorama towards the boards, creating space for himself. Always nice to see defensemen creating offense for themselves from the blue line.
Henry with the puck. Plays this one D to D over to Wingus. Wingus plays this one down, back to Wingus out top, and takes a shot looking for a tip. And bouncing puck there went just under the stick of Soderling. Soderling tried to get a shot on that one, and the bouncing puck just a little bit more than he could connect with. This pass does not connect. It's going to be Henry, the intended target, in retreat. He waves off and lets Wingus pick it up. Wingus retrieving it from Donahue. Over to Henry. Henry, stretch pass out to the neutral zone. Bounces right onto the stick of McFadden. Everybody's trying to tag up, but get a little confused. Christie's in offside. Stoppage.
Oh,
neutral
excuse
zone.
me there. That was Henry, by the way, for St. Thomas at the blue line.
First
game seeing the rosters, so first period's a little rough.
They all look alike. Both were number 3. Both are same spot on my line chart here. Stillwater's 3 is Darby. Henry for St. Thomas. So we're into the second half of the first period. So Wilson, I always feel that the first few shifts maybe start the tone of the game. First goal, obviously something. But one of the things when I announce, you can just see it. The first penalty really is an opportunity to get the first momentum shift. If you have a successful kill, that's awesome for the offending team. If you're unable to kill, that certainly is very frustrating. You're in an even game like this so far, and penalty could turn things. So we'll be keeping an eye on, do we get a penalty upcoming? It's been penalty-free so far. Out at the neutral zone, here comes Hallam, and they say Christie's just ahead of the play offside.
Yeah, I think through the first period, both teams are just feeling each other out a little bit, seeing what they need to watch and who they need to protect, and what offense and what creativity is going to be working throughout the game. I think St. Thomas has been working the down-low play a little bit better so far the game, but get some strong forwards on top of the puck, so we'll see how the game continues.
So I announced a very recent St. Thomas game. As I said earlier, it didn't go their way. I worked from the same line chart. I've noticed they've changed things quite, a couple cracks at it down low. Summary got a backhand on it. He was working down low. I think that's Wells with him. We got the jersey tuck. It is Wells, number 9. A couple scoring chances down low, but Donahue keeps the puck out, and the defense cleared out to the sidewall. Now they're trying to find a breakout path. Can't get this one past Raleigh. Keeps it in. Raleigh stepping in, fires this one just a little bit high. He was looking top corner, and it's chipped out to the neutral zone. Picked up onto the stick of Vega. Vega had that breakaway earlier. That was St. Thomas's best chance. Here's a dipsy dangle move from O'Neill, and he gets all the way to the goaltender before his progress is thwarted. So what I was mentioning is I'm working from a line chart from St. Thomas's last game, but we see that Christie is now playing with Hallam. I think this is Vega, Herzog, and O'Neill. So they've switched up O'Neill and Hallam, trying to find some chemistry. We're still early enough in the season that things are settling, and that was really a key to Chaska's victory earlier. They felt that the lines maybe had not settled earlier this year, and today obviously things went well. So we'll keep an eye on the stability of the line change for St. Thomas and the others as we progress through the weekend. Lofted out to the neutral zone. It's picked up by Soderling. Soderling through the neutral and eventually runs into some traffic, and a pass there from O'Brien hits a defender skate. Stillwater on the push. Reski's working with Donar. Donar bodying along the wall, and now it's a breakout opportunity behind the goal. It's a swinging O'Brien. O'Brien counter move. Couple passes. They get this one onto the stick of Wingus. Haven't seen Bodette yet. I'm not sure. Bodette standing on the bench, number 5. Haven't called his name. Bodette paired up with Shimmick, so I guess the shift they were out there. Always good when your defense aren't noticed, right?
Yeah, really good puck movement there for a second by St. Thomas, and I think they kind of got caught with maybe one too many passes and maybe just focus on getting the puck out first like that and then go to work. But really good movement by their defensemen so far tonight.
So you're a Stillwater graduate, and Wilson, as a supporter of the program or a fan of the Ponies, I think everybody's got to be real happy with what they've seen. They've got that gaudy 6-0 record, but they haven't played competition at the level of St. Thomas yet. They're playing, maybe even having the better of the play thus far. It's really been a good first half of the first period for the Ponies.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the speed of both teams right now has been pretty good. I think St. Thomas looks a little bit stronger on the puck so far, which has helped them get up through the ice and be a little bit stronger down low in the offensive zone. But so far, Stillwater had a good start. I think they could pick it up a little bit and starting to move their feet a little bit more as well.
It's the Tradition Youth Hockey Hub Hockey for Life Classic. This is a pass from Bodette over to Shimmick. Shimmick brings it up left side to Hallam. Hallam chip and chase. He sends McFadden in pursuit. McFadden, first one to arrive, plays it back. Hallam with a nice evasive move there, steps out front, trying to bang it in down low, and whoa, kind of a bouncy puck there, looking for a break, and little puck luck. That might have made it 1-0, working the other direction. This is Scott, drop pass, oh, shot right into the breadbasket, but a good point-blank chance there from Isley.
Yeah, nice little drop pass there. I think Isley would want it a little bit more on the shot. He kind of threw it into the chest. It's a good opportunity, though, a good creativity up the ice.
Little love for our sponsor. You're going to hear from Tradition.
Tradition Companies is your one-stop shop for all your home and financing needs. From construction, land development, new home builders, mortgages, banking, and wealth management services, the Tradition family of companies has the solution for you. For more information on everything Tradition Companies has to offer, visit traditionco.com. That's traditionco.com.
Back to the action. In front of the benches, it's Herzog. Plays this one back to Bodette. Bodette's a new player in Minnesota. His father, Dan, played at St. Thomas before he went on to play college hockey for Miami of Ohio. He grew up playing in Colorado, most recently with the Colorado Rampage. The family's from the Colorado Springs area. But McLean Bodette comes here for his junior year, expected to play 2 years for St. Thomas. He's a big defender, probably the largest player in this game. He wears number 5 for the Cadets. Bringing it up in front of the benches and kind of doing a little toe hook there, taking a digger, was O'Neill.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a power play here as well for St. Thomas. I think having to get the skates a little bit on the poke check. So like you were saying earlier, the first power play is going to be huge for St. Thomas. They can score here, and if, obviously Stillwater can kill it off, it'll be momentum change for both teams. So,
you think, oh, we took a penalty, that's a bad thing. But that kill, that uplift on the bench, it's always so exciting if you can get the kill. So here's an opportunity for Stillwater to show us that kill. St. Thomas, on the other hand, they're going to put out some key personnel. We've got Hallam and Christie. They're working with McFadden, and Dario Tripping is the call. Dario Tripping. And throughout this game, you'll hear me kind of pause at times just to make sure I hear the public address. Back to the action. It's a power play opportunity. Christie, now we've got a holding call coming up. I don't know who it's on. Can't tell if Christie was holding him or vice versa. Two number 11s, Isley and Christie. Neither one thinks they did it. It's going to be Christie that goes off. You see that sometimes in a wrestling or a mixed martial arts match where you can't tell who did what to who because they're all knotted up.
Yeah, I think Christie, you know, he was last man back there on the power play breakout, and he tried to beat a one-on-one through the neutral zone on Stillwater guy, and Stillwater player had a good poke check, creating a turnover, and I think Christie got caught out of position a little bit and happened to reach his hand out in a little bit of a hold as well. So 4-on-4 hockey now, so this should be fun for at least a minute and 38. So
I was just thinking the same thing. It should be fun. You know, you get those skilled players, a lot of room to operate, and while there was a short-lived St. Thomas power play, that one's gone. You still have a lot more open ice with 4-on-4, so a little bit wide open here for the next 90 seconds. We've got 3.5 minutes to go in the period. McFadden's trying to fight through and work his way and can't quite get through the hole, to use a football term.
he is a pretty strong kid on the puck, though.
He's a beast. Beast mode all the time, 24/7. Hallam, drop pass, plays this one over to Soderling. Soderling shot goes wide. It rings out to the neutral zone, and in pursuit, the first one to get there is Shimmick, but turns the puck over as he falls, and Raleigh enters the zone. Makes a, I'm sorry, that's 21, not 20. Scott makes a pass over, and I couldn't tell who shot it up high over the glass. We've got to do away with the tuck. You know, my son, when he was young, Wilson, he read a bio about Wayne Gretzky, and it was all about how he always tucked his jersey. So I can always figure out when I watch a game which one my son is. He's the one with the tucked jersey. When I do games like this, if I were king, no ponytails, girls hockey, covers the nameplate.
Oh, true.
And then no tuck, you know, you just can't make out the numbers. And if they'd stand still, maybe I could read the one on the arm sleeve, but you know, guys moving around. So bear with me. I'm struggling with whoever's tucking on Stillwater. I'll talk to them between periods, see if I can get them to pull it out.
Well, Gretzky was probably tucking his jersey back in the day, so he didn't have the big guys pulling him down all over the place. So.
You know, I never thought about that, but that's assuming they could get close enough. You know,
Yeah.
like, I have a friend, Peter Hankinson. He was captain of the Gophers, and actually we have an interview coming up later today in Game 4 from his brother Ben. But Peter was in the minors. He played a year with, and I don't know if it was Keith or Brent, but he played with one of the Gretzkys. It was the one whose nickname was the good one, probably the greatest hockey nickname ever. You know, Wayne Gretzky was the great one, and then they called his brother the good one. But I said, how was he? He goes, he was everything that his brother was, but he didn't have eyes in the back of his head. And, you know, that's kind of describes Wayne Gretzky to players from this year. If you're wondering what the difference was, he somehow had this panoramic view, and he knew what was going on every step of every shift in every zone. As a result, he never really got hit, ever, you know, and he's kind of a strange player from a different era, and there'll never be another. 2 minutes to go. We've got a power play opportunity, short-lived, however, for Stillwater. About 10 seconds to go in that. Summary plays this one over and gets it back. Donner plays it to the blue line for Wiley. Shot goes just wide. Donahue watches that one go just wide of the mark. Now St. Thomas has returned to full strength, and Christie returns to the ice. This one hits a skate boot, bounces off the boot of Henry and out to the blue line. Now Henry's jumping up high like a basketball player for the opening tip. Plays it onto the stick of Christie, and Christie tries to get around Wiley. We have an icing call or penalty call? Looks like the...
I think Stillwater is going on the penalty kill here. I think
they got him for it.
Yeah, Christie
Wiley
was beating Wiley there wide, and I didn't see the exact interference, so yeah.
One of the things about pushing the pace and playing with speed, obviously, you know, you watch the highlight reel and you see the goal. Sometimes that's what it causes. The other thing it does is it really puts those defense on their heels, and things like that happen. Credit Christie, he's fresh. He just sat 2 minutes in the box. Puck pops out to him and takes off. When he goes down, maybe he just lost his footing, but, you know, the other players in proximity, that gives the penalty, and now they're back on the power play.
Yeah, Christie might have been a little bit upset getting that penalty on the power play earlier, so he jumped out with speed right away, and obviously the defenseman was not ready for it. Maybe
another penalty upcoming
here as well.
Questionable call. It was Henry kind of lost his footing and turned. One of the things, you know, I watch players that maybe get the interference call when a player jumps into him and say, what do you do? You know, Henry turned into a player and kind of lost his footing as he ran into a stick. Nonetheless, it's 5-on-3. Going off is Isley. We've got a reset. Let me give you a summary. We also have a player in the game named Summary. But Wilson, here's a summary for everybody. 72 seconds in the period, 1 minute 44 seconds in the first penalty, 2 minutes goes up on the board. So a whole lot of different things can happen as we close out period 1.
Yeah, shots are 9-9 as well. So even so far through the period, big opportunity here for St. Thomas.
St. Thomas is going to want to score quickly, so they'll still enjoy another power play. 5-on-3, played out to the top. They're working it to O'Neill, and rebound opportunity right, Johnny on the spot is Hallam. goaltender makes the save, the net's budged, and we get a stoppage. So, Wilson, we've got some good stuff between periods for all of the Hockey for Life games. Between period 1 to 2 intermission, people are going to hear an interview that I conducted with an adult, somebody from the hockey world. Some of them, all are pretty interesting. Some are from different hockey backgrounds. Period 2 to 3, it's going to be some of the player profiles of those. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Back to the action in the final minute of period 1. We're scoreless. St. Thomas knocking on the door, 5-on-3, and a nice little weak side pass there. They tried to get it to Hallam off the stick of Henry.
Yeah, good puck movement so far between McFadden and, McFadden and number O'Neill. Sorry.
Yep.
McFadden and O'Neill's good puck movement so far. I think they're trying to work it down low play or get a shot from the top of the key. So only 22 seconds off so far. So two good shot opportunities. See what they can continue here.
So they're running 4 forwards on the power play. This is Neal back on the blue line. The only true defenseman out there has the puck right now. His name is Henry. Henry surveys the situation, plays a short pass. This one's over to Hallam. Hallam is a sophomore out there with some of the senior leaders, O'Neill, Christie, McFadden, and Henry, all seniors. Out to the blue line, and losing his footing is Henry. Just 30 seconds left. This is kind of saved by the bell, if you will. It really shortens up the kill responsibility for the Ponies. Good so far, just 20 seconds left as they try to eke out and make it to the period, still scoreless.
Yeah, 10 seconds left here. I think O'Neill is pretty much running the power play right now from the top of the key. He's looking for the shot over backdoor quick play.
The tip pass, it was coming right onto the stick. Both Christie and Hallam were kind of over there for the intended targets. Neither one could get the stick on it. So let's get your reset. Shots 11-9 favoring the Cadets over the Ponies. It's scoreless at the end of the one. Let me give you a scoring summary for the first period. 32 seconds overhanging, the overhang penalty situation, and also 48 on the second penalty. So when we come back, Wilson, St. Thomas is going to be enjoying a 5-on-3.
Yeah, it'll be a great opportunity for them once again to start the period, especially 48 seconds remaining on the one and 32 on the other. I think obviously they're going to have to get after it right away, or because they only have 32 seconds on the 5-on-3. So to get a quick scoring opportunity will be their goal, I would think, in intermission, and to take advantage of this power play, because you'd hate to see this walk away.
So he's Wilson Housley. I'm John Conley. We're going to take a quick break here. Your between period content, we've got some great stuff for you. Between period 2 and 3, you don't want to go anywhere. We're going to have player profiles. Tommy Wingus and Rob Christie, both interviewed by Tommy Odegaard from St. Thomas Academy. And you're watching this game on Youth Hockey Hub. Youth Hockey Hub is ubiquitous in the state of hockey. People see that they've got a big Twitter feed. They run events. They like youth events. They've got events like this one. They've got a website. There's really wall-to-wall coverage of all things hockey in Minnesota. But who's behind Youth Hockey Hub? So enjoy. This is Tony Scott from Youth Hockey Hub. He's our first period intermission guest. It's Tony Scott from Youth Hockey Hub. John Connolly here with Tony Scott, a.k.a. Tony Zozel. Tony, you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well, kind of.
So, Youth
in a
Hockey...
very narrow market I am, yes.
Yeah, so Youth Hockey Hub, a lot of people are familiar with it. But why don't you tell me, what is it that you had in mind that you set out to do? I know a lot of times things evolve. So go back how many years?
9 years.
9 years. And the genesis, the idea that spawned what you focus your efforts on now. What were you trying to do?
When I first started, I wanted to start a website dedicated to youth baseball.
Youth baseball.
And then I realized after a 15-minute planning meeting that youth hockey was way more important to people in Minnesota.
YBH.
It was going to be Youth Baseball Hub.
Yeah. So why'd that get derailed?
Oh, because I realized you only play baseball about 2 months out of the year, and you play hockey 12 months out of the year. And I have passions for both, don't get me wrong, but it was just an idea. I threw it by a few people, and they said, this is genius. There's nothing out there right now very similar.
So what's the state of baseball? Where, like, I didn't even know where that would work, right?
So
this is the state of hockey. So, okay, so some people give you some feedback and say, I think you're onto something for what would work with hockey. When I was a kid, your same age, we played youth hockey. Bob Utecht had a TV show. We'd go to the rink. We'd pick up Let's Play Hockey. And as I've tried to describe to people what it is you do, I talk about maybe being a Bob Utecht for a new age. So what was the feedback that you got
What is it that you set out to do when you crossed out the B, came up with YHH? What was the initial focus?
It just kind of started covering youth hockey. Like when I say youth, it's the Squirts, Pee-wees, Bantams. Didn't focus on girls really at all. It was just kind of those, and kind of started our focus on Squirts, and it just kind of took off from there into the high school ranks. Once the kids got old enough, we just started following them into high school.
Kids moved up, right?
And then enough people said, hey, do you got to cover my daughter? I was coaching my daughter's hockey. I'm like, we'll start covering the girls' hockey. It just kind of evolved into what it is today.
So covering sports isn't necessarily a business. It's maybe something that could occupy someone's time. But how did that evolve to what you do today? So 9 years ago, you start covering it, and today it's an enterprise. So you're not the only employee. You got a lot of stuff going on. So what's the business side? What else is Youth Hockey Hub doing? Where's the revenue come from?
So we're a two-part business. I own two businesses really. One's an events business, where we put on high school tournaments, youth tournaments, national tournaments, international, North American tournaments, girls tournaments, you name it. That's our events business, and that kind of pays that we make money on that, and that money we make from profit pays for an editorial staff that can be tweeting.
To promote those events.
Not just those events, but to promote the game of hockey. So 365 days a year, we're tweeting and telling people about hockey, whether it's Minnesota, boys, North America, you name it, we want to be talking about it.
So this week's a good example of that. This is going to run during the Christmas tournament, Hockey for Life. But you and I are sitting in Bloomington Ice Garden right now. It's in the dance room. I'm sure you figured that out. And it's because it's the only quiet place we can find. It's a beehive of activity. Thanksgiving weekend, you're running the Gobbler, which is a youth hockey tournament, and also the Opener, which is a high school and junior varsity and varsity tournament. And it's a ton of stuff going on. So this is a good example where your events are up and running, kind of that engine's cranking. And then on the coverage side, you're communicating to people what's going on, not just here, but also in other events across the state.
Yeah, not only are we running an event here for Pee-wees and Bantams, we have a high school event, and we're giving full coverage to that, but we have 4 other people that are around the state covering other events too, which we're most proud of, I think.
Minnesota's hockey culture is one of, if not the best in America, so it's only fitting that one of the best hockey camps in the world is right here in Nisswa.
This is Dan Germanson. Welcome to Minnesota Hockey Camps. We are gearing up for our 39th summer based in Nisswa, Minnesota in the beautiful Brainerd Lakes area. At MHC, there is a culture that breeds success. We offer resident and day camps for boys and girls of all ages from mites to NHL, 9 weeks throughout the summer.
We've had probably 700 NHLers come through here.
We have 32 hockey-related activities per week. Over the years, we have had close to 400 professional players come through our camp, including Division I, Stanley Cup, and Olympic champions.
I'm a little surprised that this camp is still here. To be honest with you, we thought it would be about a 20-year run, and it actually got better.
Visit our website at mnhockeycamps.com. Registration opens January 1st for 2019.
Yeah, like the Edina tournament same weekend has a girls event called the Cake Eater, and there's a high school event in another area, Plymouth, with some teams for the turkey trot, etc.
We're in all the locations where we are right now.
Yeah,
nice
so
work.
Yeah, and I know I've even provided some coverage from Thief River Falls because it's tough to get to, and I happen to be there anyway. Chicago and Blaine.
He's one of the guys behind the Twitter feed sometimes.
Yeah, anything to help out. Anything to help out. So, final thoughts. You've done this to this point in years, and it's at a certain level right now. This is where you are today. But when people look out beyond, what is it they could expect from Youth Hockey Hub? Do you branch into baseball? Is it YBH?
No.
What are you focused on?
Actually, we've tried our hat in basketball a little bit. It's not going so well, but we're trying. But I would say where we're branching out to is I think that girls hockey in Minnesota is, as you know, and if anybody's a bigger trumpeter of girls hockey, it's you. But girls hockey is the greatest. We are a part of. We'll look back 20 years from now and go, well, look at that generation of girls hockey in Minnesota, like we talk about the 1970s and 80s of youth hockey in Minnesota. It's the same type of thing. This is an amazing time for girls hockey, and I'm excited to be part of it. The girls playing in squirt or 10A, 12A, 15A in high school. It's It's the best in the world. And I'm right here. They're 10 minutes from my house. All these games. It's awesome.
It's interesting you say that. A year ago, I had the opportunity and the pleasure of announcing a week of the women's Olympic team, U.S., Canada, Sweden, Finland. Those were ultimately the medal-winning teams in the Olympics a few weeks later. And now that I'm seeing some of the stuff, we've got a player here this weekend. It's a boys varsity high school weekend, but we've got a player here this weekend. And then I go to watch some high school games, Blake and Edina. It's like, future Olympian, future Olympian, future Olympian. And we may not have 100% clarity with their crystal ball, but you can look and you just see that in the state of hockey right now, the girls' game is thriving. And while there's hockey being played elsewhere, the future Olympic teams are going to be comprised of a lot of Minnesota players.
And that's the beautiful part about the girls' hockey here. It's just like youth hockey. I had no idea what the business end of it was. I just knew that there were some great things there, and you could capitalize on it somehow. I have no idea as far as girls hockey how our business is going to capitalize on it. I just know it's awesome, and I can't wait to get out and see a girls game every week.
Yeah, final thought about your business, I guess. I mean, it's safe to say you entered into something and you just figured, I don't know exactly what I'm going to lead to, but I want to do it really well. Correct. And then it's turned out by doing it well and covering youth sports, youth hockey in this case, you've ended up tapping into some unrealized potential on the event side. You run good tournaments, and you're seems like every week, it must be, what is it, over a dozen events now that you're running each year?
18 events right now, including camps. And we're also growing outside the boundaries of Minnesota. Another growth area that I think that we're into, so we have an event that draws kids, in the Twin Cities from all over North America twice a year, and that's exciting.
Your show is a good example of that. The Brick is widely covered, and you look and say, hey, there's an event that even its first year was a success. I watched it. I was in Florida at the time and said, it just hit the ground and it's already successful. And you've had 3 or 4 so far, and people are
fifth year.
Fifth, yeah, four under the belts, and people are saying, this is a big event. It ramped up very, very quickly. Credit to you and the Youth Hockey Hub team.
Yeah, that's an exciting event. That's one of my favorites. That's our growth area, is to meet people. We go out to British Columbia, we go to Toronto, to meet people where they are and invite them to come to our great state of hockey.
Well, thanks for your time. He's Tony Scott, aka Tony Scott, actual name Tony is over.
And we are back. We are back. John Connolly here with Wilson Housley. Boy, this is going to be a mismatch. St. Thomas is going to destroy. Oh, there we go. Didn't think Stillwater was going to show up for the second period.
Yeah, Matt Dolan was probably getting some last-minute words in there to get the boys fired up. So hopefully have a good second here. St. Thomas starting on the power play. It'll be a good, fast start. I think now teams have seen each other for a period, so we'll probably turn it up a notch with speed and physicality. So I think this will be a little bit more entertaining period.
So it's your first year coaching. We talked about that earlier in case you just joined us. Wilson is the coach of the Thief River Falls Norskies in the Superior International Junior Hockey League. Is it as much fun to yell at kids between periods as you always like when you're a kid getting yelled at? Someday that's going to be me?
Honestly, I don't yell that much. You know, I think I've maybe had 3 periods the whole year so far where I've actually gotten upset and snapped on the guys in between. But, you know, mostly I like to think of myself as a player's coach and, you know, try and connect to them on a friendship basis almost. And then so when you get down in tough points, you can actually push them to that next level and get the most out of them.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. So we've got a nice all-star lineup here of different analysts coming in for the next 2 games. Is Edina 88 grad Matt Henches. Matt was drafted by the Blackhawks. He's going to do the game after this as well as the Edina game for the nightcap. Wilson's coming back tomorrow, and then later on in the week, we've got Tom Chorsky on loan from Fox Sports, going to do some games with me involving his son's team at Edina. So all-star lineup. Hope you guys are enjoying watching these things on the Youth Hockey Hub. 5-on-3 to start the period, but Stillwater managed to get the puck all the way down to the end line, and that's going to kill most of it. Just 15 seconds left in the 5-on-3 as they play this one back to Henry. Henry plays this one over and trying to shoot off the pass is Bodette. Goes wide. Short pass to Christie. Christie walking it down, brings it over to Gretzky's office, surveys the situation, and does not connect on that next pass to O'Neill. And it's out to the neutral zone. Stillwater, just a dream scenario, Wilson. 2 penalties a few seconds apart. They killed both of them. They're going to be 5-on-5 here in 5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely momentum change for Stillwater here. Hopefully they can get things going a little bit on the offensive side. St. Thomas had a really good opportunity there. They didn't get a lot of shots to the net, which is a little bit disappointing, and to get some more traffic in there as well. But obviously it's an early game still and 0-0. So
first period, we talked about the momentum shifts that occur during a hockey game, and as much as it stinks to take a penalty, sometimes a successful kill can be an uplift. And boy, oh boy. Oh, into the back of the net, the weak side. It's into the back of the net by Herzog. Herzog took that pass from Christie. Herzog from Christie, and St. Thomas is on the board.
Yeah, Christie makes a nice play there. A little toe pull pass through the defenseman's leg to Herzog backdoor. Herzog taps it in with his backhand. Really nice play, and now you're not so worried about those power play opportunities that they had after getting a goal here early in the second.
That's right, Wilson. I travel with my own goal horn. That's Herzog from Christie. It's interesting. I'm going to pause to hear the public address. No second assist. Herzog from Christie, just like we had it. So, Wilson, I got to maybe bite my tongue. I was saying that it would be a big momentum shift and an uplift on the bench of Stillwater that they managed to successfully kill those penalties. But as soon as I said it, really before the thought got out of my mouth, it's into the back of the net on a nice pass and then a tip into the far side past Brown. St. Thomas ahead 1-0.
Who would have guessed the Colorado college commit Christie makes the play, eh?
So it's interesting. We've got some line charts that were prepared here with highlights for the college committed players. St. Thomas has a couple college committed players in other sports. Christie's the only one for hockey. He's committed to Colorado College. We're going to see a player in the next game also committed to Colorado College from Prior Lake named Jackson Judding. So beautiful play there. He entered the game, eight games under his belt, 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. He's now the first St. Thomas cadet to reach 10 points on the season, first to hit double digits.
Yeah, he's been a little bit quiet until that one play, and then of course that's what college committed kids happen to do. They might be quiet for a little bit, and then they make a great play and end up scoring a goal. So nice job.
If you're familiar with the cadets, this is Rob Christie. Last year there was also Rob with his brother Ray Christie. Ray's blowing it up for the Brooks Bandits in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. He's really had a great year this far, and he is also college committed, headed to Colorado College when they do embark on the NCAA career. Through the neutral zone, over to Henry, chip and chase. He dumps this down to the end wall, and the first one to get to the puck is Huber. Kept in at the blue line with a lofted rising puck into the corner from Soderling. Played back to the point right. Wright, Soderling, and O'Brien, they're playing on a line together. O'Brien did very, very well at the opener a month ago. And Wilson, you and I were talking to one of the coaching staff from Lakeville North and on the break, and it was a lot about getting some line set. And he just kept saying, we've got everybody back. We've got everybody back. Whether it's injuries or in the cadets case, There was football, and another one of the schools had a couple players that had a disciplinary issue that they were sitting out. This is a time of the year when things are really starting to crystallize for a lot of teams. And if you roll the calendar to January and you haven't kind of found those combinations, it might be a troubling sign for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a difficult setback to start with, but you never know. Like the senior guys stepping up early, or, you know, guys that are coming to work in every day. And, you know, I think that might set them back a little bit, but you never know. You know, find your team chemistry throughout the year is obviously a big part of having team success. But, yeah, we'll have to see, I guess.
13 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the second period. Shots are pretty level, 12-11. The one being the difference is a goal for St. Thomas. Here's Christie down along the end line. He's working against Murr. Throws it out, you know, right area for where a goal could be scored. Unfortunately, no blue jerseys there, and it's kept in at that right point by Bodette.
Yeah, it seems like Christie's warming up a little bit to this game after the break, so we'll keep an eye on him the rest of the game.
O'Neill's shot from the sidewall actually almost got through. Brown made the save, but he was using a nice screen. Nice pass down low from O'Neill. Christie, boom, 2-0. Christie from O'Neill, and St. Thomas has opened up a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, O'Neill's had some really good puck movement throughout the game so far, and obviously there, I don't know, Christie sneaks behind the Stillwater Ponies defenseman. He's 1-on-0 on the goalie, and nice little tuck short side low.
So that was supposedly the New Jersey Devils goal horn. The first one was the New York Islanders goal horn. I've got 4 more to get through. We'll see if we get 4 more goals in this one. What was once a very, very even game went to intermission, 0-0. 11 from 12 and 21. So they've got McFadden in on that one as well. So it's Christie from O'Neill and McFadden, 11 from 12 and 21. So Wilson, pretty even game for what we saw through the first period, and now all of a sudden it's 2-0. So why don't you walk us through maybe what the coaches are thinking over there on the Stillwater bench?
You know, being down 2-0 in the second period, I think obviously you got to step it up here, and you got to get pucks deep and go to work down low and create offense in their zone. And I think that they've had trouble getting down low and, you know, creating space for themselves to maybe use their defensemen a little bit. But obviously being down 2 goals, you're hoping for one here.
3-0. It's Herzog from Vega. I was very impressed with the center lane rush as Herzog entered the zone, came up the middle, passed off, and he cracked toward the goal. Never got the pass back and wound up parking down in that low slot area. Strong on the forecheck. St. Thomas keeps the puck in. Next thing you know, Vega sees Herzog unaccompanied down in the slot area. Yeah, Herzog from Vega, he's got 2 goals on the day.
Yeah, another really nice play by St. Thomas. Forward slipping behind the defenseman again, so Stillwater might want to pay attention to who's behind them for the rest of the game.
It's interesting. Stillwater had a very good Bantam team a couple years ago, and those players are now mostly, I think, 11th graders on this team. That's a strong predictor in the state of Minnesota for what what leads to high school success. Stillwater might be still a little bit young, but you know, they were undefeated and have a lot of skilled players and really looking forward to a big season. Now all of a sudden, for the first time all year, they're down 3 goals, and we're early. So, you know, we're not even late second period. We're just starting the second period. So they've got a lot of hockey ahead of them just today, and they need to get something figured out real quickly as they've dug a deep hole.
Yeah, they're going to need something to turn in momentum right now. It seems like St. Thomas is starting to hang on to the puck a little bit more, showing some more confidence. Ponies are going to have to go to work here.
11 minutes to go in the second period. Chipped out to the neutral zone. It's the second time, Wilson, they tried to chip the puck out, and it hit a bracket over there on the boards. There's seamless glass on the near wall. That's kind of a feature that's pretty standard on newer rinks. But when you get to the far side, sometimes you do still have some brackets. And I don't know, a couple goofy bounces over there by the benches. And St. Thomas all of a sudden can't find a way out of their zone. So Wilson, one of the things I do when I announce games is during the second period, I like to talk about the people that might have graduated from these schools. So I'll talk to you about some of the people maybe from Stillwater, see if you knew some of these things, and we'll do the same for St. Thomas. And you know, at the very least, enjoying a good hockey game, people learn a little bit more about the two schools we're watching. Beautiful pass off the wall, Banks to Christie, and Christie tries the centering feed, just a little bit hounded. O'Neill's unable to bang that one in, but that's a neat pass, Wilson. You know, they bank pass behind the player to catch out and catch it on the bounce. That is a great play there by the defender. I don't know if it was Shimmick or Bodette.
Yeah, nice far across ice, neutral zone there. Get a break, a little bit of a 2-on-1 look. Nice back check from Stillwater to break it up.
Bodette with a nice pass, tucks it over to Shimmick. Shimmick onto the stick of O'Neill. They've gained the zone, and here's Christie. Christie's running wild all of a sudden. Backhand shot goes just wide, but Christie's got a goal and an assist. 2 goals so far for Herzog, and you can see that St. Thomas is really hitting stride. Very, very important. I guess I would call the last game I saw. McFadden, Dipsy Dangle gets it into the slot and a couple cracks at it. Brown thinks he's got it covered, but the whistle never came.
A little bit of a scrum here down low with McFadden going hard to the net. He's a big kid, big body. I think he's taking up about 4 Ponies players down in front of Brown, but a little bit of tension here from the Ponies, a little bit upset with the 3 goals here in the second. Never a bad thing to see a little competitive out of the kids.
It's interesting. We talked about the multi-sport athletes here. Did you see that ankle takedown from Christie? I'm not a big fan, follower of wrestling, but get him on the mat. That was a nice little move there.
Yeah, he must be going creative. He might be a multi-sport guy at Colorado College or something.
Yeah, the MMA team at the Colorado Springs. So, all right. So what we've got right now is a 3-0 game. Nothing's going up on the board. I think there was a penalty upcoming when they were taking their liberties with Christie, but Christie offset it when he went for that ankle takedown. So no harm, no foul. Just means a couple players are going to be off the ice for the next 2 minutes, plus a whistle. Out into the slot. This one goes under the stick of Vega. Stengel. Roughing on Stengel for Stillwater. And Christie's wasn't actually the ankle takedown. There was a cross-check in there somewhere that I must have missed. So nonetheless, we're going to play 4-on-4. Dinar plays this one up into the neutral zone, and up offside is Tussey. Everybody's got to tag up, and that gives St. Thomas a chance to get possession. Killian dumps this one down to the end line and played out to the blue line by Brown. Kept in, however, by the St. Thomas point man. Bouncing puck into the slot area, and big save by Brown as he denies Herzog, looking for the hat trick. Into his zone end is Killian. Killian over to Bamer. Bamer up in front of the benches, and this one bounces down to neutral. Nice little play there by Vega. He's trying to extract the puck from Wiley's feet and eventually got it. Whoa. Oh, I was going to say, how could that be an offside? He had possession. Nonetheless, when Hallam entered the zone, we get a stoppage because of an injury behind the play. Looks like the down player is Wiley.
Wiley took a pretty good hit there by
Vega.
Vega, yeah, in the neutral zone. I maybe got him a little bit high. I'm not really sure. Wiley stayed down for a little bit, and I think Stillwater's going to be going on a power play here.
Vega's already in the box, so there's definitely a penalty upcoming on him. Doesn't look like there's any Stillwater to offset it, and because they're talking at the benches, you almost wonder if there could be a misconduct tacked onto this when they need someone to serve the minor. And coming over the boards, going onto the ice, are 2 players. 1 comes off, 2 come off. So, yeah, nobody needs to serve. It's just going to be a minor penalty. Vega's penalty goes up on the board. And just what the doctor ordered. Clearly, Stillwater's looking to stem the flow here. They're trailing 3-0. It was 0-0 just minutes ago. And good opportunity maybe for them to get on the board.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for Stillwater right here to take advantage.
And they give up a shorthanded breakaway.
Almost, yeah, almost. Well, scary stuff from Stillwater to start the power play off of face-off 1, but hopefully they can turn it around here with some good passing through the neutral zone and getting set up into their power play. I'm not sure what they're running yet, but
it's interesting. The face-off was onto the stick of Herzog. He tried a little stretch pass to O'Neill. Had it connected, it was an uninterrupted breakaway. It just missed by maybe 6 or 8 inches, didn't miss by much. Herzog's an interesting one. We talked about the multi-sport athletes. He was a key member of the football team. They lost in the finals to Owatonna. And he's college committed. I think he signed his letter of intent already for North Dakota, which is a power at the Division I playoff, whatever they call that, football championship subdivision. He's headed to North Dakota to play football when his high school days are done.
Yeah, another big, strong forward for the St. Thomas Academy as well.
Puck turns over onto the stick of McFadden. He was the football player of the year for the Pioneer Press, in case you didn't catch the first period. And in goal is Muzzy Donahue, Morgan Donahue. He's college committed to Boston College for golf. A bunch of good, fine cadets, multi-sport athletes, and oh, by the way, pretty good hockey players. They lead 3-0. Entering the zone, still 30 seconds to go on this power play. It's kept in by Raleigh. Raleigh's pass is a little bit behind the intended target. Summary gets the puck down along the end wall, but there's 2 blue jerseys on him, and predictably they steal the puck away, chip it out to the neutral zone. Oh, not so fast. Kept in at the blue line by Raleigh. Raleigh, shot comes from a wide angle. He was looking for Huber. Huber on the wall. Comes off the wall. Plays it rink wide onto the stick of Isley with a big shot. Donahue knocks this one down, and it's into the top corner. Do you think that's Scott?
Yeah, I think Scott got a little bit of a rebound there. It was a good shot by Isley. Hard shot to the glove. Donahue didn't handle it as well as he would have liked to, and the puck slipped behind him, and Scott luckily put home the goal there, back door.
Testing, testing. Things just got more interesting. We really needed that in order to get a good game the rest of the way. There was a power play opportunity for Stillwater. The power play had either just ended or was about to. And, I was watching, trying to make sense of the downed puck. And next thing I know, I see the twine tickle. I'm assuming it went in on a shot from Scott. But Stillwater really needed that one. And now it's 3-1. Not so one-sided. And maybe they can kind of build on that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. St. Thomas is really taking it to them here this period, and it's nice to see Stillwater get on the board.
Donahue made a couple nice saves, but in the scrum that ensued, he couldn't keep the puck out forever. And
yeah, it was a little bit of a broken play. St. Thomas defenders, I think, were assuming Donahue would be able to freeze the puck, and the Ponies were kind of just poke checking at it continuously. It happened to slip behind the D-man and Donahue as well, and Scott gets a nice backdoor tap-in goal.
6:27 remaining in the second period. Listen to public address here. 21 from 19 and 11. Scott from Stengel and Isley. Scott, second goal of the season. He's up to 5 points. Stengel, third assist. He's up to 9. Isley has 15 points thus far, Wilson. Yeah, that's 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points. This is the 7th goal of the year.
Yeah, he's had a really good start so far tonight. He's been noticeable tonight. Obviously now getting on the scoreboard with an assist, but obviously going to look for big things for him the rest of the game.
Bringing it straight up the middle is Dario. Dario is eventually knocked off the puck, and St. Thomas is trying to find a breakout path. Played over to Bamer. He gets his head up and makes the short pass, but not quite ready for it is Soderling. And look who's in the house. He was our guest between the first and second period. Tony Scott from the Youth Hockey Hub paying us a visit here, and always good to see Tony. Nobody working harder about hockey in Minnesota than someone like Tony Christie. Point blank, and he fires this one. Brownie caught that one with his mask. Huge save. Keeps this one at 3-1.
Yeah, guess who would be wide open in the slot with Christie having a great scoring opportunity. Big save by Brown.
Behind the end line is McFadden. He works Kretzky's office. Little short pass in the direction of O'Neill. Back to McFadden. Goes for the stuff move, and he's got the touch of a football player of the year, huh?
Yeah,
he went for the stuff move, but he tried to stuff it from behind the goal line, so he ended up just firing it through the slot area. And you know what? A big, strong player like that does pose matchup problems. And I'm really curious to see what happens. The chatter I've heard is that he's interested in possibly continuing to play hockey, not necessarily just football. obviously has opportunities in that area as the state's, the metro area's player of the year. This is played up a kind of a jump ball situation by Shimmick, and eventually over to O'Neill. O'Neill with a shot. Oh my goodness, what a danger spot there. Wilson, the shot hit the back wall, came all the way over the goal, and the goaltender had no idea.
Yeah, it almost came right back over the net there, almost off the back of the goalie, which seems to be a popular goal nowadays. Obviously not in that instance off the glass, but more and more players in the NHL are trying to score goals behind the goal line, just shooting it off backs, and right there, St. Thomas almost got a nice bounce.
Dangling all the way to the goal is Vegan. Now he picks the puck up on the far wall, and here comes our goal scorer, Scott. Scott just picked up that loose change moments ago, made this one 3-1. We've got 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the second period. Bodette circling, plays this one over to his partner, Shimmick. Shimmick with a stretch pass all the way out to the neutral zone. It's tipped ahead by Vegan. Now it's Brown that goes for the quick cover. He realizes a little danger there as Vega's hard on the forecheck.
Yeah, I think since Stillwater scored, the speed and the intensity of the game has definitely picked up a little bit. You're seeing some guys getting maybe some chirps thrown out at one another, and definitely the competitiveness of the game is picking up for sure.
I think that's good insight. You definitely could see, you know, slumped shoulders and a little bit of a sluggishness after, you know, the second and third goal. Stillwater has not trailed much this year. They shut out their first 3 opponents. They're 6-0, and you know, falling behind 3 goals, getting that goal, definitely some signs of life here, and we'll see if they can build on it. In pursuit, coming up the wall is Dario. Dario plays this one over to Wells. Wells with the pass doesn't quite connect. He looks like he was looking for Summary, and out to the neutral zone, reeled in by Darby. Darby, D to D, plays this one over to Wiley, and Wiley with a rink-wide diagonal pass bounces up over the stick of Summary, but manages to not go for icing. It looked like some players were stopping, some were continuing, and the one and only linesman wasn't calling an ice there, so play continues.
Nice speed through the neutral zone with Hallam here, looking at the back door to
Hallam was trying to connect with Herzog. And,
yeah.
You know, Hallam is a player that you notice him out there. I guess that's kind of, you know, to borrow a phrase from a coach I know, you know, you ask somebody how somebody looks, he goes, you notice him. And Hallam makes a lot of plays. Calling for the puck at the far blue line is Herzog. They couldn't get it up to him quite quick enough, and now it bounces on goal. This one steered aside onto the stick of Huber. Huber near side. Raleigh doesn't, up to Reski. I didn't see him there.
Oh,
what a good scoring
chance there.
Tussey, right? You know, it's just a great scoring chance. Wilson, he was on this near wall, and we're high atop. This is a bigger rink than most. I didn't see him hidden. I didn't. Oh, big shot and a rebound and a scoring chance. A couple cracks at it there from Bjorn Keelan. Keelan hasn't got as much ice time today, but making it happen on this shift.
Yeah, I think that's the second time we've seen the stretch pass tonight. Wide up the near side boards here for the Stillwater. Last time we saw it was St. Thomas throwing a cross ice pass off the wall, both creating opportunities for both teams. So nice to see having the D with their heads up and making good plays up the ice.
So it's real interesting watching the the progression of a team from week to week and over the course of the season. I first saw St. Thomas when things were getting set and they were missing some of their key contributors because of the football. Saw them up the opener. Then I thought that, hey, they should be great, and they got run out of the building. It's really a tough first period, never bounced back against Hill Murray. In the day, things are looking pretty good. They've got depth across, 3 forward lines, and defense has been solid. Donahue's been good, and, kind of the ebbs and flows. So now that you're in the coaching world, the coaching realm, something that you're a little bit more familiar with. Played over to Scott, chips this one out to the neutral zone, bounces out, picked up eventually by Wingus. Wingus plays this one, and unfortunately for the Cadets, it's stolen by Stengel.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier with McFadden and what was another forward?
Herzog and McFadden played football.
Yeah,
those were the two that were missing.
I mean, anytime you can be an impact player on 2 teams in high school, that's pretty cool, and obviously a compliment and attribute to their commitment to sports and education. So definitely good job to those guys being multi-sport athletes. That's really tough once you get up into high school and moving forward even in college. So pretty cool.
All right, so I'm going off Wikipedia here. We got 64 seconds left in the period. So Wilson, you went to Stillwater High, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but these are some of the things that I learned when I looked it up. Chris Engler is a teacher at the school, former NBA player.
Chris Engler, 7-foot Chris. Yeah, he's a history teacher. I actually had him Really nice guy. Yeah, played in the NBA, right? So that was cool.
Pretty cool. So there's somebody that was eventually a White House chief of staff. I don't remember which administration. Dennis McDonough, a Stillwater grad. Dennis McDonough. You have some familiarity with the political world. So anyway, Dennis McDonough became a White House chief of staff. There's an actor. He played the character Henry Crane on Mad Men, Rich Summer.
Wow.
From St. Thomas. An author. I don't know what type of stuff they're writing, but E.E. Knight for Stillwater. E.E. Knight.
Really?
At some point, there was a ragtime pianist named Butch Thompson went to Stillwater. And then one of the more interesting ones, Thomas Abercrombie is a photojournalist, photographer. He's the first journalist, I think, that went to the South Pole. So anyway, those are some people from Stillwater. And one of my favorites, Bash brother Fulton Reed is from Stillwater.
Oh, yeah.
Fulton Reed. I don't think he would have. Yeah, you know, I think he was listed as being from Stillwater. So we just quickly went through the Stillwater graduates. We've had a penalty called here. It goes against St. Thomas's number 4, Shimmick. Shimmick off. Another power play opportunity for Stillwater here. And wouldn't it be nice for them if they could cut into this margin? They trail 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be a huge game changer for them to get a goal here with 40 seconds left in the period to make 3-2. And then going in the third, you never know what could happen. So big opportunity for them here.
We have some kids warming up behind us. I just saw Spencer Schneider walk by. Spencer Schneider is going to be our interview guest in the next game. But between periods here coming up, Thomas Wingus. Oh, good scoring chance down low on the tip shot by Dinar. Thomas Wingus and Rob Christie are going to be interviewed between period 2 and 3 by basketball player Thomas Odegaard. They're all from St. Thomas Academy. Big thanks to Jack's Cafe sponsoring that segment. Mr. Kozlak from Jack's Cafe. So you want to stick around between periods. Don't go anywhere. Going to learn a little bit about Thomas Wingus and Rob Christie away from the rink. Still 26 seconds to go in the period. Minute to go plus once you roll over to period 2 in that power play. Stillwater working the perimeter, trying to find a way to get this one down low. They've got Stengel in the slot area, and it's into the back of the net. Huge celebration. He's pulling the bow and firing the arrow. It's now 3-2 with 15 seconds to go in the period.
Nice puck movement from up top down to Eisel, down low to Tussey. Tussey back to Eisel. Eisel, nice low glove shot there that goes straight through. Big goal for the Ponies. Nice puck movement though, for sure. After that first goal here earlier in the period on the power play, it seemed as if the unit had a little bit more confidence going out there again. So good for those guys.
We got a ball game, baby. In case you just joined us, you flip on the game and see it's 3-2 late second period. That's not that newsworthy. It was 0-0 through the entire period. Then St. Thomas scored early and often in period 2, made this one 3-0. And, you know, kind of left for dead, you know, emotionally. All of a sudden, Stillwater gets a goal and then another power play. Scores a second. It's 3-2 through 2 periods. We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to play some between period content interviews with Tommy Wingus and Rob Christie. Turn this over to our producer here. Good work from Justin. And Wilson, when we come back, we'll go through some of the graduates from St. Thomas Academy, just as interesting as those from Stillwater.
Absolutely.
And obviously have a great third period upcoming. So he's Wilson Housley. I'm John Connolly. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Odegaard. I'm with Robert Christie. What are you, forward, defenseman?
Forward, center, left wing.
Center, left wing, St. Thomas Academy. We're over at Jack's Cafe, Minneapolis, on the Rainbow Trout Street. So we're going to get into it right away. We're going to play 2 lies and a truth. So you tell me 2 lies and a truth, and I decide which is which.
All right, so I've been in 2 accidents in under 24 hours. I have over 35 on my ACT, and I can sing Ice Ice Baby.
Okay, I'm going to have to think about that one, and then I'll get back to this. So what's your favorite place to vacation?
My favorite place to vacation is San Francisco, Cali.
What do you like about it? You're a Cali guy?
Yeah, I'm a Cali
You want to grow out your hair and skate?
Nah, I don't know about that. I want to learn how to surf though. That'll be fun.
Oh, with the long hair too, I assume. You want to get some long hair, Cali hair?
Yeah, probably. We'll see when the time comes.
Cali girls, pick up on them ever?
Not now, no.
What are you thinking about future vacation spot?
Future vacation, probably Barcelo.
Oh, okay.
In Mexico.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Go with a couple of the buddies.
Yeah, obviously.
So what's your favorite music? What's your favorite?
My favorite music. I like rap.
Okay.
I don't have like a favorite. I like Drake, Migos, Kodak Black.
So what's your favorite song at the moment then?
My favorite song at the moment is "Nice for What."
Nice for What by Drake.
By Drake.
You know I don't have my Apple Music account set up, so you might need to give me a little hymn to it, a couple lines or two. Like how does it go?
Like,
let's hear it. Come on, we're waiting.
Come on, Christy. I mean, like, there's
just a couple.
I don't know. I can't say it off the top of my head now.
You don't know the song all of a sudden?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I tried to get you out of your comfort zone. What's your celebrity crush? Who is it?
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
I actually went to her concert.
What age?
When I was a freshman in high school. Best concert of my life.
Best concert. Are you sure? Best concert?
Best concert of my life.
What do you like about her? Black hair?
Yeah, she's too.
Pretty girl?
She's pretty. Yeah.
So is that your type of girl? Like black hair girls are your favorite?
I mean, I don't have like a type, I guess.
Okay. So, as we all know, St. Thomas Academy, school right next to it, visitation, all girls school. What's your favorite thing about Viz Girls? What are your thoughts on them?
Thoughts on them? They're like really nice girls. Like they're fun to hang out with when we hang out with them.
Okay.
We have a good time.
This might be a little.
There's nothing bad about them.
Coming out of left field or something, but do you like older girls or younger girls or?
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Probably older girls.
Older girls, yeah, for sure. We're gonna go to break.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Welcome to Jack's Cafe. Since 1933, the Kozlak family. We welcome you this holiday season for a nice, cozy fireplace dinner. We look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, we're back from break. We're at the Jack's Cafe in Minneapolis. Tommy Odegaard and Robert Christie. We're on the Rainbow Trout stream. And we're going to go back to the Two Lies and the Truth. So what was it? First one, accident, two accidents in under 24 hours. You can sing Ice Ice Baby.
Ice Ice Baby.
Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. And I have a 35 on my ACT.
Okay. I'm going to say one of the lies is that you have a 35 in the ACT because I constantly get higher test scores than you in school. So I'd assume that, and if I don't have a 35 or above, I'm guessing you don't. Ice Ice Baby, I know that it used to be your favorite song.
Yeah.
But then also you're driving. I've rode with you a couple times and it's bumpy. So I'm going to say the truth is two accidents.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's what I thought. So we're going to wrap it up here at the Jack's Cafe. We're at the Rainbow Trout stream, and it was good. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Minnesota's hockey culture is one of, if not the best in America, so it's only fitting that one of the best hockey camps in the world is right here in Nisswa.
This is Dan Germanson. Welcome to Minnesota Hockey Camps. We are gearing up for our 39th summer based in Nisswa, Minnesota in the beautiful Brainerd Lakes area. At MHC, there is a culture that breeds success. We offer resident and day camps for boys and girls of all ages from mites to NHL, 9 weeks throughout the summer.
We've had probably 700 come through here.
We have 32 hockey-related activities per week. Over the years, we have had close to 400 professional players come through our camp, including Division I, Stanley Cup, and Olympic champions.
I'm a little surprised that this camp is still here. To be honest with you, we thought it would be about a 20-year run, and it actually got better.
Visit our website at mnhockeycamps.com. Registration opens January 1st for 2019.
Hi, I'm Bill Kozlak. Welcome to Jack's Cafe. We've been on this corner in Northeast Minneapolis since 1933. Come join the good times in my bar and restaurant.
All right, so we're at the Jack's Cafe. We're at the upper level of the Jack's Cafe. I'm with Thomas Wingus.
Thanks for having me, Odie.
Of course. St. Thomas Academy. What position? Forward, defense?
Left defenseman.
Left defenseman. What number?
6.
6.
Number
Okay.
6.
All right, so we're gonna play a little quick game. 2 lies and a truth. So you tell me two lies and a truth, and I gotta find out which is which.
All right, so I'm gonna have to go with I can run under a 6-minute mile. I'm a DJ in my free time, and I'm second cousins with George Bush.
I'm gonna have to think about that for a while, so we'll get back to that.
Sounds good.
So what's your favorite place you've vacationed so far?
Probably Hawaii. Ziplining there was pretty cool.
Is that what you like, ziplining?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Seeing Hawaii, Honolulu.
Seeing all like the birds and stuff, animals.
Any girls? Any girls?
A lot of girls.
Oh, okay. What's a future place you're looking at?
I'd like to go to Greece one time.
Greece would be fun.
With the boys.
Greece with the boys would be a fun time.
That would be a nice time.
What's your favorite type of music?
I love EDM. I'm pretty fond of that.
Is
Progressive
EDM
house, future house, EDM.
Is EDM? Is that like a upbeat type of music?
Oh,
What
yeah.
is that?
Club banging, fist pumping.
Okay, so
just like
what's
Muzzy, my friend Muzzy loves that too.
So what's your favorite EDM artist? If I could
I'm gonna have to go with Martin Garrix.
Martin Garrix.
Mm-hmm.
What's like a famous work of his? Like, does he go?
Nah,
Like, can you give me a
really
beat?
like that. Like
that. Okay. Okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense.
You like that?
Yeah, no, I like it. So that's interesting. So who's your celebrity crush?
I'm gonna have to go with Emily Ratajkowski. She's a model.
She's a model?
Yeah.
What color hair does she have?
She's a brunette.
You like the brunettes?
Dark
Is that why? Is that why?
Hairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're running to her boyfriend and you got one chance to say something to him, say, hey, she belongs to me. Emily belongs to me. What are you gonna say? Like, do you have any like game plan of what you'd say?
Game plan, decision. I don't know. I'm gonna have to just tell him no. I guess like just take her back to my house. I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's bold. That's bold. Okay. What's the best thing about Viz Girls?
I'm gonna have to say they're small. Their support for the boys, for the games, they're always out there in the rink. So.
Do you ever give any in particular Viz Girl your jersey or anything to wear?
I will this year. Lily Peterson. I'm gonna have to give her a shot.
Lily Peterson. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's
We'll
my
be
favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go to break right here.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Here we are in the Cosmopolitan Room at Jack's Cafe, where we hold private events, weddings, corporate functions, groups of 100 to 275. We've even hosted Herb Brooks and many of the great hockey players on the 1980 Olympic hockey team, as well as hosted every Gopher National Championship team year-end banquet. We look forward to booking your banquet soon.
Okay, so
all right, back to the truth.
We're back at Jack's Cafe. Thomas Wingus, left defenseman. So back to 2 lies and a truth. What was it? You're a DJ.
DJ. My second cousin.
Okay, second cousin
George
Bush.
And I can run under a 6-minute mile.
6-minute mile. Okay.
Let's see if you can guess.
I have to say the 6-minute mile. I think that's the truth. The other 2 are lies.
No. What's wrong? I'm actually a DJ in my free time.
DJ? Would you like you want to give yourself a little shout out or something?
Yeah, 2 dubs.
2 dubs on what platform?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Okay.
Well, 2 dots over the U.
Well, 2 dots. Okay. All right. Well, it's fun having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're gonna wrap it up.
Cafe.
Thanks to Jack's Cafe for the venue. Thank you so much. Killed it, man.
Thanks, bro.
Wilson Housley here. I'm John Connolly. Wilson, we got a great game. All of a sudden, things changed.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we were kind of hoping for today, to see a good hockey game and a good competitive, fair matchup. And yeah, going into the third here, 3-2, St. Thomas up by a goal. Shots 20-20. Puck just dropped, so should be an interesting third.
You know, it was 0-0 through a period, and then St. Thomas, if you just joined us, St. Thomas opened up a 3-0 lead. It is presently 3-2 on those 2 late Pony goals. Shots are squared up, like you said, and we've got a great one entering the third period. Stengel enters the zone. This one hits a stick, deflects up into the netting. We get a stoppage of play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how each team starts this third period. Obviously, St. Thomas scoring 3, Stillwater scoring 2 in the second. Pretty fast pace. Got a little bit chippy there for a little bit. Always nice to see the kids competing and you know, trying their hardest here and, you know, creating plays and making moves and scoring goals. So should be a good third.
Into the face-off circle is Wells for Stillwater. Wells squares off against Hallam. Draws one by Hallam, takes it back to the back wall, and it's ripped away by Wasco. Wasco plays this one kind of circling across behind the goal over to Wells, and they're just content to really keep the zone and see if they can generate a little bit of attack time. Most of their attack time so far, Wilson, has really come on the power play. We'll see if they may be able to do something 5-on-5.
Yeah, absolutely. I think their cycle play down low has been more of a cycle, and they haven't really created much off of it down low. I think St. Thomas forwards have done a really good job down low with keeping their feet moving, being strong on the puck, and, you know, being tough to play against. So we'll see if Stillwater can improve the down low game and, you know, keep creating penalties and maybe get some power plays here. Obviously, like to see St. Thomas maybe have some success as well.
Strong on the forecheck is Wells. He plays a pass back to Wasco, but it's a little bit of a flubbed shot and allowed St. Thomas to chip it out to neutral. This one goes up over the glass. We get a stoppage. 15:28 remains. 3-2 is your score. Wilson, I got to confess, I don't know what happens if the game ends tied. I assume there's a 8-minute overtime like a standard high school game, but nobody needs to advance in the brackets or anything. I'm guessing it would just end tied.
Yeah, hopefully we don't end in a tie tonight, but in overtime wouldn't be the worst thing. But there's St. Thomas just made it 4-2 there.
4-2, nice goal. I think it's going to go credited to O'Brien.
Yeah, nice little 2-on-1 play. Defenseman got caught out of position there, and yeah, nice goal by St. Thomas to start the period.
Yeah, Wilson, I appreciate you coming out today and tomorrow as well. For your sake, I don't want this to go to overtime. Wilson's got a hot date after this one, and Wilson's coaching up in Thief River Falls, and his girlfriend's visiting, and they're going to have a nice holiday break here and enjoy the evening. So I kind of feel guilty when I, heard you had a visitor here and that we're kind of keeping you from some of that time. So really appreciate you joining us today.
Well, we're both hockey families, so I mean, it wouldn't be any new news for us to be at a hockey rink again. So obviously, my dad being the coach of the Buffalo Sabres, and then my girlfriend's dad's the assistant coach, Davis Payne. So yeah, we spend a lot of time at hockey rinks, so it's kind of the norm for us, I guess you would say.
So did she play? I listened to the public address. They have that goal as O'Brien from right and Killian. I know you mentioned her father's coaching with your father with the Sabres. Did she play some hockey in her day?
She did not play hockey. She was actually a water polo girl, which is a little bit surprising, but
a little short. I know that, like, on the men's side, I know that like a national water polo is the same height as a basketball NBA team. So interesting. Now it's kind of like okay, small town. You're in Thief River Falls.
Yep.
Hockey background.
Yep.
Coach's daughter. Like, you're living the Youngblood life, one of my favorite hockey movies, right? You got all sorts of the ingredients. So back to the action here. 4-2 is the score. St. Thomas had a 3-0 lead and saw that dissipate down to just a 1 goal, and they've doubled it back with that goal. I think that one's going to go in the books as O'Brien from right and Killian. So now it's up to the Ponies to answer back.
Yeah, fast start for St. Thomas, getting an odd man rush and taking advantage of it. I think so far tonight they've done a really good job of taking advantage of their odd man rushes and creating opportunities, getting behind Stillwater's defenseman.
Strong on the forecheck here is O'Neill. He's looking around, trying to find someone to pass to. Gets it over to Bodette, spinning shot, and a bunch of bounces down low. And you know, that's the type of bad bounce that could go against you. And
good job, good job by Wells there, getting a screen in front of the net, and almost a bad bounce for the Ponies. But hey, getting pucks to the net and buys in the net is a game plan for almost everyone. So
this one's lofted out toward the bench, and kind of a sticky conundrum there. Wow, what a sequence. So 17 is Bamer. He chips it up. It's going to go over the glass. Herzog's reaction is to bat it down. He knocks it down successfully, but then he sees the arm up. Because he played the puck above his shoulder, he can't be the next one to touch it without a face-off in your own end. Is he supposed to just touch it or just stand there and watch as a Stillwater Pony picks it away and is already in the attacking zone?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a high sticky play, so obviously he or his teammates can't touch it, and Stillwater needs to touch it. Sometimes players like to do that, maybe just to break up a play and get a whistle, maybe get a line change or something. So
back to the action here. We're coming up on the 4 o'clock hour. We've got a great game. Stillwater trails 4-2. St. Thomas pass over to Vega, comes in on a semi-breakaway and goes over forehand, backhand, denied by Brown. Huge save. Brown keeps this one at 4-2.
Yeah, Vega, excuse me, that's what I wanted to say earlier as well, creating traffic in front of the net.
Oh, shot goes just wide. They got Donahue moving one way and then fired it kind of to the other side, and he couldn't get back over, but it was just wide of the mark. Vega's been very active today. He's having a great game. Tries a centering pass. This one over to Herzog, and he tries a little chippy over there to Hallam, and very impressed by what I've seen. Now all of a sudden it looks like the lines are back to what I saw when I announced the Hill-Murray game. It is Herzog, Hallam, and Vega. For a while they had O'Neill centering Herzog and Vega and running Hallam with Christian McFadden. So a little bit of fluidity on the Cadets side. Down low, slot chance, boom. Oh my goodness, Donar had that scoring chance, and Donahue made the save, but almost 4-3, Wilson.
Yeah, nice play by Rose there, getting the puck to the front of the net and creating an opportunity for his line mate, and nice save there by Donahue.
Stillwater on the forecheck. You mentioned that they like to get into the zone and set up the cycling and try to really ground and pound down low. St. Thomas tries to break it out in front of the benches, but they can't. Big hit there from Huber. Now it's 2-2 down in the corner, played back to Huber. Huber walking it in, shoots it, and steered aside by Donahue. He had even a little bit more time, Wilson, if he wanted to maybe get a closer shot, or better yet, maybe pass off to an open player on the weak side.
Yeah, it was a good job by the Stillwater Ponies forwards there, down low. Guy takes the body, second guy in, gets hit by a St. Thomas player, kind of puts him out of position. Puck goes up to Huber, and yeah, he walked it in and had a good look. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. I think it was obviously a good shot, still a good scoring opportunity. He didn't score, but another nice save by Donahue. I think he made 3 nice saves there by that shift there by the Ponies.
Well, let's get you a reset, or as they say in Stillwater, here's your summary. 12 minutes to go in the period. It's 4 o'clock straight up. 25 shots on goal for the Ponies against 22 for the Cadets. But it's the Cadets that lead 4-2. And with 12 minutes to go, Wilson, I don't think we're at crisis mode yet with the 2-goal lead. But, you know, eventually the clock's going to dwindle down, and maybe it'll be the Cadets' friend if they can run some time off if Stillwater's not able to get a goal soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 2-goal lead, some people say it's the worst lead in hockey, but it's still a lead. So
I've never understood that. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I think it's just the momentum change, you know, being in a 1-goal game compared to 2. You know, 2 you might be a little bit more relaxed than 1-goal game. You know, it's obviously tighter and it's more momentum and competitiveness going out there throughout the rest of the game. So,
you know, that 2-goal lead one is one of those hockey axioms like, you know, oh, it's a good loss. You know, hear that in sports. Oh, you know, it's a good loss. You know, we learn more, you know. No, you wanted to win. Don't give me that, you know. You wanted to win. Everybody wants to win. So 11:25 remains. Stillwater takes it through the neutral zone. Chipped up ahead by Tussey. And, oh, I'm sorry, that's not Tussey. That's Isley. Isley shot just wide.
Isley's having a pretty good game tonight for the Ponies, though. I have noticed him for sure. Obviously, a lot of St. Thomas guys have been noticeable, but Isley for Stillwater has played very well so far.
The senior is the leading scorer. By my count, he entered the game 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. I think he's down on the game sheet for a goal and an assist thus far. 16 points, 7 games, not bad. Young man might look pretty good in a Norski's uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he'll be going to do tryouts after this year to maybe North American Hockey League, but obviously if you don't make it to that step, we're still a Junior A Tier 2 program, so majority of our players are going to be playing Division 3 this year, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind him in a Norski's uniform.
That's awesome. So Wilson, in case you just joined us, Wilson's in his first year coaching the Thief River Falls Norskies, one of the great small towns in America. It's really interesting. They've got a couple big employers in Articat and Digi-Key, so there's an economic engine, a world-class facility, and probably the nicest community rink in the world is in Thief River Falls, and you know, not a lot of distractions. Let's put it that way, right? Not a lot of distractions. Kids could focus on their hockey for a year, playing that Superior International League, and you know, good for you getting your coaching career started. Back to the action here behind the goal line for Stillwater. They've got 35 out there. There's a player I didn't have on my line chart. I'm going to have to check my notes. Figure out who that is.
Almost a good look there for Stillwater coming up the ice, throwing the puck to the middle, the guy driving hard to the net, broken up by St. Thomas defenseman.
Well, I'm at a loss. I don't have a 39 in the program that was printed. I prepared some line charts off of information I found from Minnesota Hockey Hub. Penalty upcoming here. St. Thomas is going to go on the PK. Entering the zone is Tussey. Tussey with a drop pass and walking in with a good shooting angle. A nice pass there over to Summery. They've managed to keep the puck, gain the zone, and it's 6-on-5. They've pulled the goalie, Wilson.
Well, I think they have a delayed penalty
extra
here,
attacker, yep.
So.
They still got possession.
Wow,
this is one of the
surprising.
longest. Usually when you get the goalie to the bench is right when they blow the whistle. They've managed to pull the goalie, play 6-on-5, and St. Thomas has touched it a couple times, but nothing deemed possession. And here's a scoring chance down low. Tries to get over to the backhand. Nice backhand opportunity from a pinching Murr, but the shot never arrived, and eventually it kind of bobbles in front of Donahue, who gets the cover.
Yeah, I think Herzog had a big hit there on the neutral zone on one of the Ponies players. He's not very happy about it, but I didn't see the whole hit, but I just saw the Ponies player on the ice. Assuming it was maybe a little bit of a high roughing hit or some sort, maybe an elbow. But yeah, Stillwater back on the power play here, and 2 power play goals tonight, so maybe they can add 3 here.
Just what they need. So next whistle, we're going to go through some of the St. Thomas graduates, some of the illustrious St. Thomas. It's going to be tough to top Stillwater. We've got a photojournalist that went to the South Pole. We've got a ragtime pianist, an actor from Mad Men, and the White House Chief of Staff. So we'll get to that next stoppage of play. Spinning wrister came off the stick of Isley. Now he plays this one back to the blue line, separating out our Huber and Isley, but into the passing lane, stolen away by McFadden, throws it out toward the neutral zone. Great play by Isley to keep this play alive. Second time's a charm, however. This is Christie out to neutral. Now it's 11 going the other direction. Somebody lost a mitt. Looks like the Stillwater player is gloveless.
Yeah, I think that was Raleigh trying to take the body on Christie there.
The referee, I've never seen that. The referee picked it up and threw it to him when he got a spare moment. So now he's got 2 gloves. Big shot. There goes the water bottle. That thing went flying. Isley, bang, 4-3.
Wow, another nice goal there by Isley. Takes a slap shot, high blocker side, goes straight in. Nice shot by him. Like we were saying earlier, he's been definitely noticeable tonight and gets another goal to make it 3-4 against St. Thomas. So 4-3, St. Thomas leading.
He's got 2 goals, 1 assist. Isley, this one's for you. Wow. And now you start thinking about the strategy. I mentioned earlier when there were 12 minutes, like eventually the clock's your enemy. Still plenty of time. Now timeouts both ways become important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here you're just looking on both Ponies to tie the game. St. Thomas to obviously keep pressure up here to not give Stillwater a chance to score. It'll be an interesting next couple of minutes here.
Isley from Stengel and Raleigh, 11 from 19 and 2. That's Isley from Stengel and Raleigh. And that gets Stengel up to 10 points on the season. And Isley is now at 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points in 7 games. He's been very productive this year for the Ponies.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see him get another goal. I think now you're thinking, if I'm a St. Thomas guy, you gotta get pucks deep and go to work here, and keep your feet moving to not give Stillwater more momentum to tie the game, which is always tough to do. But I think that's what they're hoping for, and hopefully their top guys can step up here with the last 8 minutes left and hopefully seal this one out. Obviously, I would personally like to see the Ponies score, but we'll see how this goes. Nice face-off win by St. Thomas. Back to Wings. Wings wraps it around the net to 22 Herzog. Over to Hallam. Hallam through the neutral zone here over the blue line. Tries to cut through the middle. Gets broken up by Stillwater. Stillwater tries a breakout pass to Dinar, and Dinar just misses it. Icing on Stillwater.
That's John Ammerman walking behind me. He's coming up a little bit later today for the Moorhead game. I think he's also the head of the State Coaches Association for the high school coaches in Minnesota. And giving him, a few thoughts that I had. I wanted to get an audio clip from him that we can play before that Edina game. The reason I'm mentioning all this is Moorhead's third opponent is Stillwater. That's going to be a great matchup. Two hockey-rich, communities, and I think both of those teams have been profiled on Dream State, the Fox Sports North award-winning program, kind of a reality show following a high school season.
Yeah, it'll be a great matchup for sure. I think Stillwater usually ends up playing Moorhead at least once a year on their schedules, but not from their conference, obviously out of conference games, but it'll be a good game for them for sure.
Vega kind of got turned around there and trying to avoid the hit. He lost the puck to Wells, but it did make it out to neutral. Everybody has to take up. And Wilson, I see Mr. Wells isn't taking my advice about untucking for me. Here comes Vega.
We should have went down there intermission and told them, hey, we gotta untuck your jersey, man.
I wish, like, if I were a king, I'd go through the line chart and I'd find the names that are hard to pronounce and tell the coach not to put those kids out there, and then I'd untuck the jerseys and I'd definitely cut the ponytails when I can do a game when there's no name on the back. You just refer to the line chart and get the numbers, but those ponytails on the back, then you kind of get it, sometimes even covers the number. Back to the action here. We've got a great game. We've got 6.5 minutes to go. It's 4-3, St. Thomas leading Stillwater. Game 2 out of 12, 4 games today from the Hockey for Life, Tradition Hockey for Life. Whoa, Christie made a beautiful play there to pull that one off the wall. The pass didn't really come behind him, so he jumped up over the puck, caught it off the wall, and came in. Good scoring chance there.
Yeah, nice breakout pass by McFadden. McFadden going cross ice to Christie, looking at an on-man rush, almost going in through the offensive zone. Christie tries to make a nice toe pull move, high short side. Big save there by Brown.
So I mentioned some of those St. Thomas graduates, period 2. Stillwater. Jim Lang was the host of the dating game. He was a St. Thomas graduate, and in the spirit of that, I'm going to give you a dating game nickname. I'm here with Witty Wilson Housley. So I'm rugged John Conley. I don't know. Dating game nicknames, man. That I keep saying one of these St. Thomas games, I'm going to give every player a dating game nickname and stick to it by the just call them by their.
The witty nickname or their dating nickname.
Dating game nickname. Yeah, you don't even know you're too young. You don't even know what the dating game was.
It
was a great. It was predecessor to all the dating shows. It was really one of the first ones. Dating game, the Newlywed Game were two of the dating shows. But a guy would come out and it was always a dating game nickname. It was like one adjective before the name. So we'll get back to some of those graduates in a moment. O'Neill enters the zone, goes over to Christie. Christie shot just wide. Net comes off its moorings. And Christie with another takedown. He's showing his skills. He's got to go out for the wrestling's a winter sport, unfortunately.
I think he's just showing a little frustration. Obviously he's had a good couple opportunities here in this third, and he hasn't scored. And he obviously is used to scoring goals, and a little bit of frustration there in the corner with not having another good opportunity with O'Neill and Christie on a 2-on-1, and they don't score, and maybe a little bit of cross-checking going on, but it's a tight game here, so you expect to see this kind of stuff.
So Wilson, I'm illiterate, but if I could read, I would read books by Vince Flynn. Every time I mention his name, he's a St. Thomas graduate. People say he's a great author. Unfortunately, recently passed away, but Vince Flynn, Jim Lang, Tom Emmer, the congressman, tying it all to the state politics, which you're familiar with. The last two I'll get to before the end of the game, next stoppage, and those are two, I think, some of the most fun. And in case you're wondering, every time I announce a game with high school, I try to go through some of the graduates. I will blow your mind tonight with some of the people that graduate from Edina. I had no idea. Back to the action here, 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the period. Bringing it down the right side is Reski. Reski's bodied off the puck. And we're back to the neutral zone. Chip and chase for St. Thomas. At this point, the zone is their friend. If they can run some zone time, whether they score or not, at least some time will come off the clock. Just 5 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this one. All right, so you ready, Wilson? So these are two graduates of St. Thomas. It's an old school. It's been around a long time. These are people that were distinguished in two areas. So the youngest four-star general ever in the Army, Alfred Grunther. And oh, by the way, later on in his life, he was an expert bridge player. His books are very, very prominent. Bridge books at the highest level. Bridge is kind of a game that's kind of died, but back being a high-level bridge player was a big deal. He wrote books that were very, very popular amongst the bridge community about expert bridge play. So he's a St. Thomas grad, has a career in the military, very distinguished in that regard. Ooh, Donahue with the cover, Tussey banging at the door. And then also had his separate career writing books. And the last one, this is fascinating. Tommy Gibbons was the sheriff of Ramsey County. That's a little bit of responsibility, St. Paul area, Ramsey County sheriff. Yeah. Before that, so after St. Thomas, before he's the sheriff, he fought Jack Dempsey for the heavyweight championship of the world. He was a prize fighter. Wow. Going back about 100 years for that one. So anyway, thanks for playing along with me. That's fun. Anybody that I left off from Stillwater that's a notable alumni, non-sports related?
Jeez. If I guess I did my little bit more of a research, I could have given you maybe someone, but
tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow,
Wikipedia.
Tomorrow.
I've exhausted Wikipedia, so anyway, that's for tomorrow. So Wilson will be back for the St. Thomas game tomorrow, and that's assuming he wants to come back. I'd love to have him. He's penciled in for that. So anyway, Wilson's coming back tomorrow. Bodette regroup. Tries a chip pass out to Vega. Vega's been all over the ice today. I've announced St. Thomas games 3 so far this year. I've never seen Vega anywhere near as active and around the puck as he is today. He's been sensational.
Yeah, he's definitely been a little bit of an energy player for St. Thomas today with using his speed and finishing checks. Yeah, he's been fun to watch for sure.
Nice shot here using the screen. Gets tipped up over into the netting. Summery recognized he had a defender between him and Donahue. Tried to snake one in there, but it was shoveled up over the glass into the netting by Donahue. 4:12 remains. At this point, I want to pick your brain. You're a coach now. Your dad's coaching in the NHL, where things have certainly changed in the last 5 years. What are your thoughts about when the Stillwater bench might be looking to yank the goaltender if they're still down 4-3?
I mean, it all depends here in the next minute or two to see how much in-zone time they get. If they think they can hold the zone longer than, a minute or 2 minutes, then obviously you pull them earlier. But, I think Dolman is assuming he's going to pull them around 2 or just under 2 minutes. I think you don't want to pull them too early because then you're out of the game with, 4 minutes left here, 3 minutes left, and then, you kind of take the wind out of your sails for the rest of the guys and the team. So you want to keep them going here. Hopefully you can get one here before that 2 minute or minute mark, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely, good point. Face-off is Stengel, won, however, by St. Thomas, and it's a chance for Wingus to bring it up near side. Off the stick of McFadden. They don't leave the zone, but it does wander out in front of the benches. Everybody regroups. It's thrown right back in by the Ponies. Left Wingus plays it from Donahue, and then there's a stretch pass diagonally. Nice play, springing a breakaway here for McFadden. Forehand, backhand, and just wide of the mark.
Yeah, there's that cross-ice play in the defensive zone again we've seen here now a couple times throughout the game with their the weak side winger throwing it, or the strong side winger throwing it to the weak side, and they've definitely created offense off it from the defensive zone going in the offensive zone.
Oh, this one hit the defender, Huber, and Brown had to adjust. He managed to recover. That would have been a dagger. That would have put him down 2 goals. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Christie denied by Brown, and what a beautiful setup play there from O'Neill.
Absolutely, a nice backhand toe pull and then a backhand sauce to Christie in the slot. Being a D1 guy, he might want that one back.
Scoring chance here down low for Stillwater's Dinar. Hits the side of the net, however, and we've got a lot of back and forth for a team that's got a 1-goal lead. We're not seeing the Cadets trying to lock things down. We had that stretch pass earlier, and they're really going up and down the ice, 200-foot hockey, and kind of a surprise with a 1-goal lead late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, St. Thomas, I think, has had better of opportunities here recently. Obviously, Stillwater needs to create more, and obviously just get pucks to the net. You know, getting a shot on net is never a bad play in my opinion. With traffic there, and maybe hope for a rebound, or you never know with a screen it might go straight in. So.
2-on-1 the other direction, and they hit the high trailer out to Soderling. O'Brien and Wright were connecting on the 2-on-1, and then recognizing that Soderling was trailing the play in that white space. Nice pass out high, but it's shoveled up just over the crossbar. Keeps this one at 3-4, Ponies trail.
Yeah, I think the pass caught Soderling a little bit off. I don't think he was ready for it. He had a little bit of a high shot there. Maybe he didn't think his teammates saw him, but really nice play by St. Thomas, creating another scoring opportunity with cross-ice passing. Putting it back to the slot there.
So if I could paraphrase, he busted his tail to get into the spot. He never thought they'd pass to him.
Yeah, I think he was there just being a good positional player, and maybe he didn't see the pass coming or whatnot, but he's been a good player tonight as well. So
Maybe looking for that high trailing rebound or something. But Wiley back into his own end. Now we're at the 2.5-minute mark. Still a 1-goal game. Both teams have yet to call a timeout. Turnover stolen, played from O'Brien to Wright. Wright goes on a bit of a guitar solo and plays this one out, intercepted by Denar. Denar through the neutral zone. He loses his footing, however. He kind of got run into the ground like a professional wrestling move, and St. Thomas gets a full change. Everybody goes off except Bodette, I guess an 80% change, and now it's Stillwater pinned back in their own end. Wiley tries to get around the forechecker, and it's lofted out to the neutral zone. Opportunity here for Bamer. Bamer plays it in front of the benches, over to Herzog, back to Bamer, now stretching it up vertically. Nobody home, however, as Vega tipped it into the neutral zone center ice.
Yeah, if I'm Matt Dolman right now, I don't think Eisel's coming off the ice the rest of the game. He's been pretty good for them all night, so.
And obviously this season, 17 points, and this is the 7th game, so I think that's a good point, and that's where the timeouts become so important. Here's a guy that might be able to double shift at the end here without getting tired if you could give him a little break when you call timeout at a stoppage.
Absolutely, and Dolan's a very knowledgeable coach, so I'm sure he knows exactly what he wants to do with a minute left here.
3 in retreat is Darby, brings it out behind the goal. Gets cut off, however, pulls it back into his own end, and as much as they don't want to turn the puck over, they also don't want to get caught running time off the clock. Now it's a stretch pass that doesn't connect. Icing's the call. Just 66 seconds left, and they're pinned back in their own end for the faceoff. Can't get that goalie out.
Yeah, tough break for the Ponies. They're going through a pass to the neutral zone, just misses the guy's tape. I believe we're going to have a timeout here as well, but it's tough. It's a bummer for Stillwater that the timeout has to be in their defensive zone here. You'd obviously like to be in the offensive zone, going over the play that you practiced and hopefully perfect it here tonight. But St. Thomas has been good all game, and they've kept up the pressure with scoring opportunities. I think they've had a couple of chances that they could have scored on, and Brown's made some really good saves for Stillwater, so it's been a really good game so far.
So as expected, the timeout was at their disposal. If nothing else, sure, you can coach them up, maybe talk some strategy. In addition to that, it gets the benefit of resting whatever player Stillwater wants to come back with. We've got 66 seconds left in regulation. Ponies have a 34-27 edge on the shot clock. They trail, however, 3-4 here with Wilson Housley. I'm John Connolly, and Wilson, I know you got a date tonight. Got to get you out of here, but if I could ask you to do me a favor when we wrap up, maybe throw out some names as nominees. When it's all said and done, I'll look and maybe summarize everything as terms of an all-tournament team or something, but maybe a couple players from each team that really caught your eye, and types of players that you'd like to coach now that you're into the coaching profession.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely do that for you. I mean, yeah, I think there's been good players on both sides tonight. Obviously, younger guys have been great, older guys have been good, so good balance throughout both rosters. I think St. Thomas is maybe a little bit more skilled up front, with obviously being D1 committed players. I mean, that speaks volumes for them.
Yeah, and St. Thomas, the top 6 forwards are 5 seniors, and that's got to be an advantage. Stillwater, the players might be just as good, but when you're talking about a lot of sophomores in that top half and juniors, I guess one sophomore and a lot of juniors, it's a little different maybe trying to match up. So we got an exciting conclusion here. 66 seconds to go. The puck is dropped, and we are off. It's kept in by McFadden. McFadden plays this one down into the corner. Christie's content to play a little bit of dead puck. The clock is their friend. Stillwater forces the puck out, and it's onto the stick of Murr. Murr leaves the pass, overlapping him, and bringing it up ice is Wiley. Wiley gains the red, gains the blue, chips it in, and he takes it down to the end line. It's grabbed here by Henry. Henry runs into some traffic, and a nice pinch play here. They've got the goaltender out, and a couple cracks at it. Donahue gets the save, and we've got little takedowns going on. Two players knotted up here, two players knotted up there. The whistle blew, and everybody's looking to the ref saying, you got to call a penalty on the other guy.
Yeah, I didn't really see. I know Parker Wiley there got a little bit tied up with the St. Thomas guy, and then Eisel was hit by Henry for St. Thomas. So two little tie-ups, and then they had a 2-on-0 down low there going into the net. I think one of the Ponies players just happened to lose it a little bit, and it slipped into Donahue's path. So 35 seconds here to finish.
Tussie tries to go toward the goal, but loses the puck out to the other side to the St. Thomas player and out to the neutral zone. We're down to 30 seconds left. Murr at the neutral zone. Plays this one to Reski. They chip it ahead, and on retreat, it's Christie. Christie turns and tries to fire this one outside the zone, but it gets knocked down by Stengel on the forecheck, and Wilson with 15 seconds left. Stillwater's trying to get one last shot.
Big block there by McFadden to end the game almost. You got 8 seconds, 5 seconds here, but that was a really nice job by him.
Should just about do it. He got his skate boot on that one, took it out to the neutral zone, and that's going to do it. 1 second left, and it goes just wide of the mark as time expires. So want to thank everybody for watching. We're going to get into the post-game segment right now. Goes in the books, 4-3 win for St. Thomas Academy over Stillwater. So Wilson, why don't you close out by giving us some of your game thoughts, and then maybe nominate some players for an all-tournament team at the end of the week.
I mean, I think obviously all the guys had a really nice game. St. Thomas came out up on top tonight, but I think for the team that lost with Stillwater, I think Brown, their senior goaltending, had a pretty good game, made some really big saves. I know he only faced 27 total shots tonight, but I thought some of the odd man rushes, he did a really nice job. Obviously, Eisel, number 11 senior forward for Stillwater as well, having 2 goals and assists tonight against a really good hockey team in St. Thomas. For the St. Thomas guys, I would say I was impressed with, surprising the guys that are highlighted that are going on to college and to move on to the next level. I think Christie, he had a good goal tonight, a couple points. I think there's more to his game than I saw tonight. Herzog as well was a really noticeable player, big, strong forward on the puck. Vega as well with McFadden, so those 4 senior guys that were really good for them up front. I thought earlier in the game, I believe it's Henry, I noticed for sure. He had some nice spinorama moves at the blue line, creating offense for his team. So yeah, I think those guys are obviously the best players of tonight. I would have liked to see a little bit more from Tussie for Stillwater, but playing against a big, heavy fronted team with St. Thomas, and got some big players out there as a sophomore, that's obviously something to adjust for him. Moving forward though, for all tournament team, it's tough to say off one game, but I would think, I'm sure Christie will be in the mix for that.
Yeah, Christie goes in the books with 1 goal, 1 assist. He had an assist on the first, scored the second. The one thing that I'm curious about, you look at now, we've got enough games to say, some trends have emerged. 9 games in, Vega was outstanding today. He had an assist. That puts him at 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points for the season. I'm a little surprised it's not more than that.
Yeah, I think he does all the little things really well throughout 200-foot game, finishing checks. He's getting pucks deep. He creates time and space for his teammates, and obviously the bigger bodies that play with him create space as well. But he's a little bit of a water bug out there tonight. He was really noticeable all over the ice. Really nice job for him.
So that's it. Any final thoughts?
No. Obviously, congratulations, St. Thomas, winning the first game of the Showcase tournament here this weekend. Obviously, Stillwater's got some work to do now, 6-1, but hey, they still got a really good record, and they got to stay focused here for the next 2 games as well. Super
excited about the rest of the week. Wilson's going to be back tomorrow for tomorrow's matchup. And I want to thank everybody out there in Youth Hockey Hub land for watching. For Wilson Housley, this is John Connolly. Our producer today has been Justin. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 35 minutes with the next one. That's going to be Prior Lake and Lakeville North. Thanks, everybody.